Evening. This is Cindy Baker. I'm the ADHD coach for entrepreneurs and other creative professionals. And I'm the creator of the 3P Power Program, which is a group coaching program to help people leverage ADHD as their superpower. And so tonight, I am actually continuing part two of a series on what to do if you have ADHD symptoms and clutter is a problem for you. Clutter is overwhelming. So if you are watching live, say hi in the chat and just put hashtag replay if you're watching the replay. Right now, I'm looking at the Facebook group chat, but if you're watching on YouTube or somewhere else, make sure you also say hi there. That would be awesome. So let me pull up on my phone just to make sure that I'm streaming where I'm supposed to, and that you guys can see and hear me and all of that good stuff. Okay, I can see myself, so hopefully you can. So if you missed last time, I talked about where to start when you have um, this feeling of overwhelm with your clutter, and I looked at both the reasons that you might be accumulating so much, and the impact it might be having on you. So that's kind of the baseline where you should start. So if you missed that, make sure you go back and watch that previous video, part one. So check that out. And you know, here's the thing. I mean, if you, because a lot of times I talk about business, and so if you have a business, if you're an entrepreneur like me, you may think, well, I don't have time to deal with clutter. I need to work on my business. But I'm telling you, clutter can actually hurt you financially. It can hurt your health, and it definitely can impact your business in a negative way, because you need to be organized to be able to scale your business. So the thing is, adults with ADHD deal with clutter in a different way. And so ultimately, though, I know the question that you really want answered is how do I get rid of the clutter in my house, or how do I get rid of the clutter in my office and maintain it in a way that works with my ADHD? And you've probably tried plenty of techniques without a lot of success, or you probably wouldn't be watching this right now. Or maybe you are just killing it and you just want some extra tips. And that's cool too. And so the exact path is going to be different for everybody. You can start by first answering the question, what do I want my space to look like when it's good enough and it works for me? And we talked about this last week. Um, if you need help answering that question, check out my last video. But you need to be clear on that. What does it need to look like in order to be good enough and to work for you? You need to be able to find things that you need when you need them, things like that. Um, so when you're clear on the outcome that you want, you can choose um, the technique that you want to try. I'm going to give you a few ideas, and I'm sure you have some other things that you could think of as well. But the most important thing is to pick one and actually do it, because it will make a difference. So the first one is, I want you to think about your backlog as a project. So treat your backlog as a project. So when you're first starting out, you're going to find it daunting, really, because you're trying to keep up with your current stuff and you're dealing with all the old stuff at the same time. And the trick is to deal with the backlog as a separate project. Um, and then at the same time, experiment with initiating a new habit or two to keep that clutter from building up again. Um, And I'm going to talk about that more in a minute. So, again, if you are just jumping on live, if you could say hi in the chat, the comments section, and if you're watching the replay, say hashtag replay. Facebook loves that for their algorithm, and they'll show you more things like this. Same with YouTube. I think I just messed my thing up here. There we go. Yes. So no one's saying hi. Make sure that you do. Just say hi. But if you're hearing some things that you resonate with, or kind of have some ahas, you can put some emojis, anything to let me know that you are that you're with me. Okay. So still looking for lots of comments. Come on, come on. Okay, so again, treat your backlog like a separate project. And to get a handle on the backlog, the first step is to choose like one space or one room to start. And then I always tell people you want to separate things into four piles, or four big garbage bags, or four boxes. Um, and that is, donate, um, things you want to donate, things you want to, um, and you could say donate or sell, because I sell a lot of things on Facebook Marketplace, and I make a lot of money doing that. Not a lot at once, but it adds up. So donate or sell, throw away, put away or store, and then things you want to keep, like keep out that you use. So then, when you're finished with that one area, you go to a different area of the room. Or when you're finished with that one room, you go to the next room. It's kind of like, rinse and repeat. And of course, you also need to decide on a time. Otherwise, it's going to be a good idea, but it's never going to happen. You have to actually schedule a time in your calendar, a specific day, a specific time, and an amount of time. For 1 hour, tomorrow from 9 to 10, I'm going to organize this area. And don't be late. Start right at 9, as if it was an appointment. Um, so you may decide, to binge clean and do a big chunk at once. That's fine, but I like to do it in small amounts, because I think that what happens is you do this big long cleaning thing, and then you wear yourself out, and you never get motivated to do it again, because you always feel like you've got to do it that way. But if you're short on time, you can do these short sprints, just 1 to 2 times a week. And the key is just to keep the ball rolling, you know, get that momentum and get a system, get a routine, get some habits, and keep that ball rolling. This week, one of my goals was to clean out my email inbox of one of my email accounts. I have too many. Um, but one of my personal accounts, where um, I needed to unsubscribe to some things that I was no longer a part of. And then I needed to clean out my emails. And so I've created some folders and some rules where things automatically go in certain folders. And it took me maybe 30 minutes to kind of organize that, but it made me feel so much better. Now, I still have a long way to go, but if I did that, every week, and then I maintained, each day I cleaned out that day's emails, then pretty soon I would catch up. And so that's what I'm saying. Just get that momentum, get that ball rolling. All right. So if you're watching live, say hi so I know you're here. And if you're watching the replay, say hashtag replay. We got a very quiet night tonight. I'm not sure. Lots going on. Um, Another tip: create a place and a habit for all the items that you want to keep. So everything needs a home in your home or in your office. So after you divide your stuff into those 4 piles, um, you either put away everything that you're keeping where it belongs, or if you don't have a place for it, you create a space, and that's where it goes every time. Everything needs a home. It's just like I have one of those Roomba, the little round electronic robot vacuum cleaners, and after it, I call her a she, but after she does her little thing, she just automatically goes back to her docking station. And so that's kind of the way things need to be in your home and in your office. Just if you get it out, you always put it, it always goes back in the same place. Then you work on creating habits to maintain those spaces. So, for example, I often tell my coaching clients to create a launching pad, like a little small table or something by the door. And that's where you put everything that you need to go out the door in the morning, your purse, your briefcase, all those things. And another challenge besides email is snail mail. We don't get as much of it anymore, but it's still, um, it adds up if you don't deal with it. So rather than adding it to the pile, you can now sort it every day. You know, you can have like a little mail station, and you immediately put things in the trash or shredder or take action on it or file it. Um, so work on that backlog when you can. If you want to file papers, but you're just too overwhelmed by the stack that you have now, then start with your current papers. Instead of going back, just start with what you have now from the last month, and start there and get that momentum going. You get the idea. So what keeps a lot of people from starting new habits to keep their clutter from building up is that they think they don't have time. And it is true, you probably don't have time to deal with all of it now, but you don't have to wait. You can start now adopting habits today so that you have less clutter going forward. And so the key is to stop telling yourself, I'll deal with this later. I don't have time now. Instead, you have to trust that slowing down and dealing with your stuff in the moment is time well spent. So you remind yourself, if I do this now, it won't build up into this big monster of clutter that overwhelms me. Um, and these strategies, they sound simple, but they are, but they are not easy to implement. And so I don't want you to get the wrong idea where I'm saying, oh, just clean your clutter, um, because you may have heard all this before and it sounds simple and you think, but I haven't been able to make it work. And I get it. Here's the rub in all of this. While a lot of the suggestions that you come across for clearing your clutter may sound simple, um, the actual actions that you need to take can be really hard if you have ADHD. So, in order to implement the most straightforward sounding strategy, you got to be compassionate with yourself. Really, you have to understand that your ADHD might be getting in your way, and and just expect that. Get the support that you need when things get hard. That's why I love my coaching group because um, people help each other. Simple is not the same as easy. So, your ADHD symptoms can get in the way of clearing your clutter because you don't know how to create a step by step plan to tackle the backlog. And maybe you have challenges estimating the time that you need. I talk about this in my Chaos to Control challenge, which is coming up. You might get distracted. Maybe you have trouble getting started, and you forget your intention. Is you get sidetracked and you forget that you're supposed to be tackling this clutter, and you get distracted in the middle of working on it. And then maybe you get frustrated and you give up because it just seems like it's too hard. and you get bored with it, you know, and you can probably think of other things. And I know a lot of those things sound familiar. Um, I'm curious which ones really stand out in terms of creating the biggest challenge for you. If you're watching on the replay, put that in the comments. I'd be curious to know. But there are other ways that ADHD can get in your way, but there are workarounds. I don't know if you've heard of using a body double. That's just having another person help you stay on track. And while you can substitute your own project, um, you know, having another person there to help you plan out the steps, um, estimate the time, and determine when to block off the time to do the work, that really, really helps. When they help you know when it's time to start, um, and they can help you work on the project with you. So for example, you could have another person help you make decisions. You know, you hold something up. Should I throw this away, store it, keep it, sell it? And sometimes that's overwhelming to make all those decisions. So a body double can help you also deal with distractions, you know, because you're going to get them. Let's say your kid comes running in and wants your attention. This person can help them find a way back to where they were, and have them wait, um, or whatever. I mean, there's a million distractions that can happen, and you could ask them to kind of keep you on track, you know, gently remind you to stay on task. So when you start responding to a text for something, they go, let's do that later, you know, and steer you back to what you were doing. And you know, it is just helpful to have other people by your side. It helps minimize the boredom. It makes it more fun. And if you're likely to give up when it gets hard, then having somebody there can help you when it feels too challenging. They kind of help you keep going. So a body double is something to consider. Just having a person in the same room has proven to be helpful for adults with ADHD, because they're kind of like a calming influence. You're only thinking about the project for which you enlisted the help, but um, they're there to be there for you. Um, and so I, they'll do things like remind you what you came in there for. Don't forget, we're going to clear out this area because you start to get distracted. They're kind of like a gatekeeper. And the other thing is you tend to feel obligated to work while your body double's there because you don't want to appear lazy, you know. Um, so maybe you can think of other reasons, but a body double is just something to think about. So you are if you're struggling with clutter, with getting organized, with time management, um, I want to invite you to the next Chaos to Control challenge. It's going to be May 13th and 14th. So I want you to watch in this Facebook group if that's where you're watching, and you'll see the registration information pop up there. And if you're watching anywhere else, um, just make sure that you contact me, and I will give you all the info that you need. Um, and so I finally can see my chat here. Hey, Laura. Hey, Kathy. Hey, hey, Julianne. Yay. I love my peeps. Um, yeah, for some reason I couldn't see. I can't see all the chat for some reason on my phone. And usually it's the opposite. Usually I can see it on my phone and not on my computer. But anyway, I hope you guys have a great night, and hope you're motivated to go tackle some of your clutter, put it on your schedule. Um, you know, if you are interested in getting my help, I have a whole 4-part series in my coaching program on clutter. I'll help you get over the overwhelm, help you get started. Um, hold you accountable. We go room by room. Um, anyway, it's awesome. So let me know if you are interested in that. So I hope you guys have a great week, and I will see you next time. Bye.